This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. I went to pick up my girlfriend after work, only to find her chatting and laughing with a male colleague. When he saw me, he made a hand gesture that all men would understand. I asked her who he was. She said he was just an ordinary colleague. I asked if normal colleagues made that kind of ponytail-grabbing gesture at me. While we were arguing, a box of emergency contraceptive pills fell out of her bag. Earlier today, I passed by her company while running errands, so I figured I'd stop by and pick her up. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows on the first floor, I saw her laughing with a male colleague. I pulled out my phone to call her, but then I saw that man gesture at me like he was grabbing a ponytail. All I can say is, every guy knows what that means. I lost it. I was about to storm in and teach him a lesson, but the security guard stopped me at the entrance. "Who are you here to see?" I pointed inside, but honestly, I didn't even know that guy's name. Just then Serena saw me and quickly came out. I pointed at the man's back and asked, "Who the hell is that guy?" She glared at me. "Rocky, did you take the wrong meds or something? Why are you causing a scene at my workplace? I'm asking you, who is that guy?" I bit back a curse. "Why are you acting crazy in broad daylight? If you're not embarrassed, I am." She tossed her ponytail and turned away furious. I didn't know how to explain the ponytail gesture to her, so I quickly caught up. "Don't be mad. I'm not making a scene, but I'm telling you seriously, that guy's no good. Stay away from him." Serena turned to look at me, then suddenly burst into laughter. She turned back, held my hand, and gave it a playful shake. "You're just jealous, aren't you? He's just a regular colleague. New guy. Pretty quiet. My boss asked me to share some of my project workload with him." Right. Maybe she can't read men, but I can. Still saying more now would just make me sound petty. So I pulled her into my arms. "They gave out quarterly bonuses today. Let's go to your favorite restaurant tonight." After dinner, I stared at the number on the bill and fell into deep thought. 8,000. Saying it didn't hurt would be a lie, but I didn't regret it. Serena loved it after all. I'm just a rookie lawyer with no background. In this field, connections are everything. So I haven't made much progress yet. Serena is way out of my league. Not only is she beautiful, her family is wealthy. Her parents run a pretty big company that's well known in our city. Right after graduation, she started working at one of the top firms, with a starting salary twice mine. So honestly, I feel pretty insecure. But she told me she doesn't need anything, just someone who treats her well. So I gave it my all. I saw a new designer handbag in her favorites. I had no idea about the brand, so I showed it to some ladies at work. They told me it cost tens of thousands. My quarterly bonus could barely cover it, but after this fancy dinner, I didn't have enough. Luckily, this month's salary was due soon. Once I got paid, it would be enough. I bought a bunch of expiring instant noodles from a discount app, stocked them at work for lunch. One day, I was making a cup of noodles in the break room when the HR manager walked in. She wrinkled her nose. "What's that smell?" Then seeing me, she smiled. "Rocky having lunch." I nodded and stepped aside while making coffee. She glanced at me a few times. "You're eating this for lunch? You nothing else I want to eat." She walked a few steps, then turned back. "Haley, the boss is coming soon. She's sensitive to smells. You might want to do something about that." Haley is the boss of our law firm. Young and beautiful, but cold and serious. She rarely comes in, so my impression of her is mostly from when she scolded someone. Arms crossed, eyes sharp, nose up, blasting a grown man until his face turned bright red. But to be fair, that guy deserved it. Skilled, yes, but cunning and nasty. His mind was filthier than a blackhead-filled nose. After the HR manager left, I lost my appetite. I opened windows for ventilation and sprayed air freshener like crazy. Even asked the janitor for a stronger one. I sniffed around, confirmed there was no trace of sauerkraut beef noodle smell. At the afternoon meeting, Haley walked in and immediately sneezed several times. She scowled and told her assistant, "Go ask housekeeping why the break room smells like a bathroom. Who allowed them to spray toilet air freshener in the break room?" Remembering her scolding style, I froze. Then I instinctively stood up. "No need to ask. I sprayed it." She folded her arms, leaned against the wall, looked me up and down. "You're the new janitor." I froze. Didn't know how to respond. She glanced at me again. "If you like cleaning that much, I'll have HR transfer you to janitorial services." I didn't know how serious she was, so I said nothing. Only when I noticed everyone else in the room trying to hold in laughter, did I realize she was mocking me. Whatever. As long as she doesn't dock my pay, she can say whatever she wants. Right now, money is everything. Haley brought in a big client, and the deal was nearly done. She came to assign tasks. Luckily, she was in a hurry. After giving instructions, she rushed off. Unluckily, I got assigned to Bame's team. The same guy with a darker heart than a blackhead-ridden nose. Tomorrow is Serena's birthday, but for some reason this month's salary still hasn't arrived. It's 2 days late since I joined. This has never happened. I had no choice but to ask finance. They apologized. Said the new accountant accidentally locked the security token, so they had to go to the bank to reset it. No use getting angry at someone being polite. So I left. Then I ran into Bame and some colleagues. Well, if it isn't Rocky," he sneered, "chasing your paycheck. You must be tight on cash lately. Want a loan? No thanks. I turned to leave. Don't be shy. It's just for the company's benefit. Delayed salary affects your mood and efficiency, especially when your projects aren't going well. Haley's asked about you several times already. I knew he was up to no good. He always looked for scapegoats. The best way to deal with him was to say as little as possible. I plan to buy Serena her favorite strawberry cake tomorrow, then use my credit card to buy that designer bag she liked, on installment. Even if it took 2 days to arrive, it could still be a surprise. The next day, I took half a day off, stood in line for 2 hours at the best dessert shop in the East Side. My legs went numb, but I finally got the cake. To keep it safe, I spent my last $200 on a cab across town. This time, I played it smart. I offered the guard a cigarette. Remember me, my girlfriend works here. Here's my card. Actually, our firm's in talks with your company. He didn't give me any trouble. Handed me a form. Just right. Work visit. Got it. Thanks, boss. I scribbled my name and ran for the elevator. Serena's company was fancy. Shiny glass corridors everywhere. At her office door, I saw a man holding a 3-layer strawberry cake walking toward her. She was smiling sweetly, resting her head on his shoulder. As colleagues teased them, that guy, the same one who made the ponytail gesture. I barged in and punched him in the face. He stumbled. Strawberries and cream flew everywhere. What the hell is your problem? He pointed at me furiously, but I wasn't there to argue. I just wanted to flatten his stupid nose. Serena suddenly stepped in front of him. Rocky wasn't causing a scene outside my company enough. Now you're doing it in my office too. Can't you stop bothering me? We've broken up already. What? I stood there in shock. What the hell was going on? Did I travel through time? Lose my memory? When did we break up? Her colleagues looked shocked too, but mostly disgusted. So it turns out, the clown was me. While I was dazed, that guy punched me hard. I spun, hit the floor like a fool. You hit me first. I'm just returning the favor. Now get out, and I won't press charges. It's Serena's birthday today. I don't want to ruin it. He smirked, arrogant as hell, afraid I'd fight back. Serena quickly stepped between his face pale. Funny, I loved her so much, and she became someone else's human shield. I looked at the cake I'd waited hours for, smashed on the floor, a sticky mess. Then I noticed her desk, the designer handbag, and a brand new top-spec iPhone, both unwrapped. She said quietly, but firmly, you should go, before someone calls the police. I had just walked out of Serena's company building when she came running after me. I thought she had something to say, but she just reached into her bag and handed me a set of keys. What kind of game are you playing with me? That guy looks greasy as hell, nostrils so big you could stuff 2 bunches of scallions in them. What do you even see in him? I couldn't hold it in anymore. She just stood there in silence. Say something. If you don't like me anymore, just say it. You're dating someone new while still stringing me along. What the hell is that? Serena's eyes turned red. She lowered her voice and whispered, I'm sorry, Rocky. I still like you, but you're just taking too long to make it. I can't keep waiting. I couldn't help but laugh coldly. So it's really just because I don't have money. You should have just told me earlier. No need for all that nonsense about how well off your family is. How you never needed anything. You just wasted 2 years of my life. Serena's face flushed deep red, her chest rising and falling rapidly. There's no need to be so sarcastic. Yes, my family's comfortable, but they're content with mediocrity. I want more. Is it wrong to try and break out of my class on my own? While she was actually getting emotional, the security guard at the gate was already peeking this way. I reached out and tried to pull her somewhere more private, but she reacted instinctively and flung her hand. Her bag slipped and hit the ground right in front of me. A white pillbox landed at my feet. The bold letters on it stabbed at my eyes. Using emergency contraceptive. I knew what that was. Effective only within 72 hours. And I knew it was rough on the body. I'd always been careful, never willing to let her use it. God damn it. The fool was me all along. I touched my face and realized I was actually smiling. Of course you're not wrong. Striving for a better life and all. I respect your choice, but don't ever say you still like me. It's disgusting. I almost ran late for work the next day. When I got to the building, I saw Haley's car parked out front. She actually showed up this early. That was rare. I clocked in just on time and noticed everyone in the office had their heads buried like ostriches. What the hell was going on? I had just set down my backpack when Bame the lawyer in the next cubicle stuck his head out and startled me. Looks like that contract Haley got us might be in trouble. She showed up super early today, all fired up. He nodded toward the CEO's office. Then he looked at me and cursed, damn, what happened to you last night? You look like hell. Didn't sleep well, I muttered. I quickly changed the subject. What do you mean the contract's in trouble? That big deal Haley brought in. Everyone thought it was a sure win, but something happened. Looks like the other party might be stealing it. What happened exactly? Hell if I know. Bame adjusted his glasses. I wish I did. This affects everyone's bonus for the second half of the year. Just then Haley's office door swung open. A pair of long legs and high heels stepped out. She scanned the room, then crooked her finger at me. Rocky, come here. My eyes widened. She actually knew my name. I turned to Bame. I wasn't late, right? I clocked in right on time. That bastard had already ducked his head back down silent. Still confused, I walked into Haley's office. She gave me a nod. Sit. I was about to sit when she suddenly wrinkled her nose in disgust. I tensed up, did a quick squat, and stood back up. I'll just stand. I wasn't late today. I came in right on time. What's that smell on you? She ignored my comment and pulled out some perfume from a drawer, spraying the air. What else could it be? Smoke and booze. Yeah, that was on me. Drank too much, woke up late. No time to change clothes. I stayed silent. She went on. It's nothing serious. I'm just doing random employee evaluations. How's your coordination with your team leader? It's fine. Did he explain the project details clearly to your group? He did. The whole box of instant noodles in the pantry, those yours? 1,000 curses ran through my head. Why the hell was a company boss asking about that? Was she bored? Still, I admitted it honestly. Yeah, they're mine. By the way, this month's payroll was delayed 2 days due to an error by the new accountant. It'll all be sent out this afternoon. No way. She even knew I asked about my paycheck. Luckily, she let me go without saying anything more. I went in confused and came out just as confused. Bame grinned. No way. She's paying that much attention to you. You think she's into you? She's into your stupid duck blood hot pot. Stop jinxing me. If you want me dead, just say it. I joked with him, but something in my gut told me this wasn't that simple. Haley came back a few more times. Each time her face looked worse. Everyone walked on eggshells, and I could sense something was off too. Not just with the new client, even the old ones, those with contracts up for renewal, were suddenly hard to push forward. Then one day, I was called into the CEO's office again. This time it was Bame who called me. Rocky, the company's always treated you well, right? He gave me a pained look. Why did you betray us? What? I was stunned. Don't play dumb. We've been investigating you for a while. Haley just raised an eyebrow at me. Silent. What betrayal? Say it clearly. I was starting to boil. You contacted a rival company in private and gave them our pricing and proposal details. And with the existing partners, you picked out the ones up for renewal and handed them off to competitors. I didn't do any of that. Without proof, this is slander. Oh, we've got proof. Haley finally spoke. She threw a brown envelope at me. It was sent to my house. I opened it. Inside was my business card and a visitor log. The log was from Serena's company. It showed my company name and the visit purpose as business discussion, along with my unmistakable signature. Wasn't that the day of Serena's birthday? I had signed it in a rush, didn't even put the date. Someone must have forged that. My business cards everywhere. How does this count as evidence? Haley tossed me a contract. You signed this too. I compared the handwriting. Is this your signature or not? Shit, it was. I said I want to see a friend. She asked, can this friend vouch for you? I remembered the things I'd said to Serena that day. We'd already burned that bridge. No way she'd help me. And even if she did, what could she say? That I showed up with a cake and got dumped on the spot. Seeing me silent, Haley asked again, heard you've been short on cash lately. That did it. I exploded. Money, money, money. That's all women ever talk about. They think they're so damn smart, whether I'm broke or not. What does that have to do with you? You pay me, I work. I earn every cent. Bame cleared his throat at the right moment. Boss Haley, Rocky's on my team. If he messed up, I share the blame. He hasn't been in the best shape lately, but usually he works hard. Maybe give him another chance. Haley shook her head. She stared at me. You know what I hate most? People who bite the hand that feeds them. If you think your pay is too low, bring it up. That's no excuse to betray the company. That's when I got it. There was a problem with the project, and Bame was trying to pin it on me. Haley, that clueless woman, barely shows up at the office and believes every word out of his mouth. Truth is, I'd had it with this job anyway. Every day I dragged myself in, especially working under Bame. Seeing his two-faced mug made me want to vomit. I took off my badge and slammed it on her desk. You know what I hate most? Dumbass leaders who think they're clever. You can keep your damn job. I'm done. Cursing them felt great, but I lost my job too. The rent was paid for 3 months, only 1 month left. I glanced at the unopened delivery box by the door. Inside was the bag I bought for Serena. It arrived the day after we broke up. Ironic. If I had realized it a day earlier, I wouldn't have wasted money like a fool. But right now, I need food, and I need to pay rent. That bag doesn't feed me or house me. Better turn it into cash. The second-hand luxury store's offer made me want to cry. Brand new unopened full set. Still, they'd only take it at 60 of the original price, not a sought-after model. And the resale market's down. That slash in value hurt, but I carried it home in silence, listed it on a second-hand marketplace app, and started desperately looking for a job. Got plenty of interviews, but none felt right. Too far, too intense, or simply didn't pay enough. That night, hungry and tired from a long commute after another interview, I passed the convenience store behind my old company, went in, and ordered Odin, warm broth soft tofu. Looking up at the building I once worked in, I couldn't help but think, for all the crap, the pay there was decent. While I was eating, I suddenly saw 3 thug-like guys dragging a woman into the alley next to the store. The woman looked familiar. She looked like Haley. I put down my chopsticks and followed them into the alley. The 3 men had Haley cornered, cursing at her nonstop. Don't cry until you're in the coffin, huh? Money or your life. Boss Haley's so rich. Just a little spare change from her fingers would be enough. Even that's too much to ask. Haley said something. The blonde guy leading the group exploded. You bitch. You want me to strip you and record it, post it online. Let the H family see what you really are. He grabbed at her clothes. The other two laughed maliciously. I never liked Haley much, but watching three men gang up on one woman, standing by would be cowardly. I picked up a rock, rushed in, and slammed it into the blonde's face. He flew backward, crashing into a pile of garbage. I shielded Haley behind me. Three grown men ganging up on a woman. You got no shame. You little punk, you want to take us all on. What do you mean all? I glanced at the blonde in the trash. After one punch, he couldn't even stand. The other two saw how bad it was, grabbed him, and ran. Haley stepped out from behind me. Thank you. Then, what's that smell on you? Seriously, just Odin. Rich people never eat at convenience stores. I tossed the rock aside. You drove here, come on, I'll walk you to your car. Then she noticed my hand. You're bleeding. It's nothing. I don't like owing people. Take this, go see a doctor. She pulled out a thick wad of cash. Who still carries that much cash these days? If anyone deserves to be robbed, it's her. I'll be fine in a few days. I refused. How about coming back to work? It's hard to find a job right now. Thinking of all the bad interviews lately. I snapped. You tell me to go, I go. Tell me to come back, I come back. What am I, a dog? You rich girls think money solves everything. Her black Bentley was right ahead. I turned and walked off. Even if I was broke, I wouldn't bow to her. Luckily, 2 weeks later, I landed a new job. Similar pay to the old one. At a small company. Fewer politics. And the boss treated me well. The bag finally sold too. Buyer didn't haggle, paid 90 of the price. That solved my urgent problems. Life finally started to improve. Then Dad called again, nagging me to get married. When he heard I broke up with Serena, he cursed me out. With your crap attitude, what kind of girl are you hoping for? That sweet Serena was educated and came from a good family. I just want someone who won't cheat on me. Dad went silent. Then Mom took the phone. Son, if things are too tough, just come home. No way. I won't admit defeat. Wherever I live, I still live. A big city has more opportunities. I can make it. I worked my ass off. Learned everything I could. Within 6 months, I closed several deals. Was named Employee of the Month. But good times don't last. A year later, my boss announced the company was closing. He was heading back to his hometown. His parents were sick, and he had to care for them. He told me Haley was the one who got me the job. I needed help, she recommended you. Said you were capable, and she was right. You did great. Go help her out. She's having a rough time too. I got curious. What happened to Haley? I remembered the alley. Those thugs. Did she get involved with a scumbag? I kept applying to jobs. 2 weeks passed. Nothing good came up. Then Haley called. Stop being stubborn. Come back to work. I'm not going. Fine. Come to the office. I need to tell you something. Decide afterward. At the office, I found out that Bame, that sly old fox, got fired. He didn't know why. Just said it happened not long after I left. When I entered the CEO's office, Haley was standing by the window. I know you've been uncomfortable about what happened. I want to explain. There was a mole in the company, getting paid while selling our secrets. That's on me. I was too distracted with family stuff, so I mixed up some project data. Your team and another got slightly different info. The mole didn't notice. I tracked him down through that. Then I got that so-called evidence. I knew it wasn't solid, but someone was desperate and needed a scapegoat, so I played along. Pretended it was you, to make them drop their guard. It wasn't because you saved me that I want you back. This position was always meant for you. I wanted to explain sooner, but you were angry, and things didn't go well. Now finally I can tell you. Rocky, your old boss, told me how fast you've grown. If not for his family situation, he would have made you a key player. So now, I'm inviting you back. She used the word invite. That basically meant she was asking me. I didn't say anything, but inside, I was kinda pleased. Then I saw the contract, the salary. I couldn't resist. I signed. Business is business. Nothing to be ashamed of. Though she invited me back, she didn't lower the expectations. Maybe she'd been burned before. Now she was Hanson. Almost always in the office. If she missed a morning, she always stayed late. One night, I was prepping a document at home, and my laptop died. No fixing it. I had to return to the office to grab my work laptop. When I got there, I noticed the lights were still on. I'd been the last to leave that day. No one was around. Maybe I forgot to switch the lights off. Lucky I came back. Otherwise, I'd be scolded tomorrow. I used my key card to enter. Just as I was leaving with the laptop, I heard arguing from the CEO's office. The blinds weren't fully shut. A small gap remained. I peeked through. Inside, yelling, slamming the table. It was that blonde thug from before. But this was our company. Security downstairs. He had to be here with Haley's permission. Looking closer, he actually had decent features, but his whole vibe screamed lowlife. He was cursing nonstop, calling her names, filthy stuff. Across from him, Haley's eyes were swollen red. She'd been crying. I couldn't take it anymore. Where was her usual sharp tongue now? Why Why the silence? I burst in. The guy jumped in shock. Before he could react, I twisted his arm behind his back. He yelped in pain, begging me to let go. Boss Haley, one thing's clear. Your taste in men is crap. Why are you still tangled with this trash? Oh, this guy's your boy toy, right? Tell him to let go, it hurts. What the hell? I twisted harder. You Callan, me what boy toy? I'm sorry, bro-in-law. You're my brother-in-law. Then Haley wiped her tears. He's my brother. Let him go. I released him. He bolted. Her father had a marriage of convenience with his first wife, a union between two powerful families. But their relationship was always rocky. After the divorce, her father married his second wife and had Haley. Haley's mother used to work for her father's company. Their relationship was a normal love story, but the ex-wife insisted Haley's mother was a homewrecker, called her a slut, and said Haley was born of a slut. The ex-wife gave birth to a son, so even now Haley's family still addresses her as sister-in-law. Whatever was due to her, she got. The ex-wife and Tony even hold shares in her father's company. But Tony, still young, never bothered with anything decent. With plenty of allowance, he made shady friends and picked up gambling. When he lost everything, he ran back home to beg for more. After the ex-wife died recently, he asked Haley's father for money again. When refused, he threw a fit, causing so much trouble that Haley's father ended up hospitalized. In his mind, everything made sense. You and your mother are thieves. She stole my father, and now you're stealing the life that should have been mine. Look at me now. Why should you have things easy? No way. So now he's got his eyes on Haley, constantly pestering her for money. The reason she had been so busy lately was that both her parents had fallen ill from the stress and ended up in the hospital. She never called the police, fearing that if her brother's arrest became public, it would affect her family's business. She also worried it might be too much for her already ill father to bear. She told me all this while we were drinking in a small tavern. The late autumn night in North City was silent and bleak. As the wind swept by, dried yellow leaves rolled along the roadside. Haley took a sip of wine, her pale face slowly warming with a flush. Now I finally understood what our former boss meant by, she's had it rough. If I could, she said, holding her forehead with one hand, her long bangs hiding her eyes, but not the tears falling down like broken beads. I'd really want to escape this mess of a family. I used to think rich people were too busy enjoying themselves to bother with drama. Now I see even those rich family feuds have a touch of reality. I opened my mouth, but didn't know what to say. After all, she and I came from two completely different worlds. You must think I'm being melodramatic, huh? She wiped away her tears carelessly. That's what most people think. So I never told anyone these things. Guess I lost it a bit today. I took a sip of wine. Let me tell you something. Instead of worrying about this and that, just focus on making yourself feel better. Screw everything else. Then I scratched my head. Man, I used to think money could solve most problems in the world. Clearly I was being naive. She paused for a moment, then asked tentatively, by the way, you seemed pretty short on cash before. Don't get me wrong, I'm just wondering if there's anything I can help with. I downed the rest of my drink. Back then I was dating a girl, yeah, I was pretty broke. But looking back, it was my own fault for overreaching. She liked designer bags that cost tens of thousands. I was just some broke guy. How could I possibly keep up? This bar's drinks really weren't great. Left a lump in my throat. She sighed and picked out a piece of warm Odin for me. Eat something hot. Might help you feel better. And on behalf of all women, I want to say not all of us are like that. Keep your eyes open. You'll find someone sooner or later. Then she smiled brightly at me. Under the tavern's warm dim lights, the tears still glistened at the corners of her eyes, made her look heartbreakingly beautiful. Thanks for the blessing, I answered softly. My heart skipped a beat. I rubbed my cheeks hard. They were burning. I must have had too much to drink. It's late. I'll get you a cab. I stood up, grabbed my coat, and dared not look into her eyes again. The next morning, Haley didn't come to the office. I started to get worried. What if that troublesome brother of hers went after her again? I was debating whether to call her when she called first. Tony had been arrested for gambling. She had just gone to the police station for the paperwork. She was heading back to the office soon. Hearing the lightness in her voice, I teased, "What, not worried about how this might affect your dad's company anymore?" She laughed on the other end. I figured it out. He's the one who should feel guilty. Why should I worry? Besides, I don't rely on my dad's company to survive. Didn't you say it yourself? Make yourself happy first, everything else fuck off. That's more like it. The one who caused the mess should clean it up. He's a grown man, time he learned to wipe his own ass. I hung up feeling good and headed to the convenience store downstairs to grab myself a deluxe Odin meal. Just as I stepped out of the elevator, I saw a woman pacing near the entrance with a phone in her hand. The building required an electronic key card to enter. No card, no entry. She saw me and ran straight over like she'd seen her savior. "Rocky, I looked closely. It was Serena. Over a year had passed. She had changed a lot. Her long black hair was now short and thinning. She'd gained some weight too. She grabbed my wrist and pulled me aside. "Rocky, I need your help. For old time's sake, please. You've heard Haley's brother got arrested for gambling, right? The casino he went at, that's my husband's place. I heard you're doing really well at work now. Could you please convince her brother not to expose my husband?" Her eyes were red. Tears welled up, but when I looked closer, I noticed faint wrinkles and sunspots at the corners of her eyes. I pulled my hand back. "Your husband, oh, that guy from before. Wasn't he supposed to be really capable?" She didn't catch the sarcasm in my voice. Still explaining in a hurry. "He doesn't have money of his own, it's all from his parents. And he's not an only child either, has an older brother. If his parents find out about this, he's finished." She even squeezed out a couple of tears. "I just gave birth. The baby is still little. For the baby's sake." Then I heard the familiar sound of high heels behind me. "Rocky, what are you doing? I've been waiting for you out here forever. Who's this lady here?" Strictly speaking, Haley was a bit older than Serena, but she spoke sharply. She must have overheard enough to guess Serena's identity. Serena's face fell immediately. The teary expression vanished. "Who are you calling lady? Can't you speak properly?" Haley was dressed especially bright today, with a well-kept figure and complexion. She looked much younger than Serena. She wrapped her arm around mine and leaned close to my shoulder like a little bird. "I'm just stating facts." Serena didn't want to argue, so she looked at me with a pitiful expression. "Rocky, you were never heartless. Please help me just this once." "He's not heartless, but women now, they can be vicious," Haley said with a sneer. "That did it." Serena exploded. "Who the hell are you? Have some decency, stop cutting people off. You don't know who I am." Haley feigned surprise and snapped her fingers. She waved over the building security. "Tell her who I am." The young security guard straightened up like a soldier. "You're Ms. Haley, the owner of this office building." Serena's eyes widened in shock. Even I was stunned. I knew she was rich, but not that rich. I always thought we were just renting the space. Maybe she owned a couple of floors tops. Never imagined the entire building prime real estate was hers. Haley nodded in satisfaction. "Hi, sorry, I didn't introduce myself earlier. I'm Haley." Serena looked at Haley's hand on my arm with disgust. "Rocky, you're such a hypocrite. When I chose Jack, you said I was shallow, that I only cared about money. You called me disgusting, and now you're cozying up to a rich woman yourself. Aren't you disgusting? Is this your way of getting revenge on me?" "Revenge? Who do you think you are? You're not worth the effort." Haley circled her like a predator. "I'm not heartless, though. If Rocky agrees to help, I'll help you too." Serena turned to me. "Rocky." I stared coldly at her, watching her switch expressions faster than a drama actor. So I said, "Serena, you know what I do, right? As someone in the legal field, how could I knowingly break the law? But for old time's sake, I'll give you some advice. If your husband turns himself in now, he might still get leniency." Serena trembled with rage. "Got it. If so, go think it over." Haley waved her fingers in a sarcastic goodbye. Serena didn't move. After a moment, she sneered. "Haley, you're heartless. Your brother's in jail, and here you are flirting with a boy toy. Your family gave birth to someone like you. What a disgrace." Haley's family was always her sore spot. Her face changed immediately. I pulled her into my arms. Funny how the times have changed. A woman who married rich by getting knocked up thinks she's better than a self-made heiress. TSK, the world's gone mad. Without sparing Serena another glance, I took Haley into the elevator. Inside, she kicked me in the thigh hard. Pointy leather boots hurt like hell. I broke out in a cold sweat. "You useless idiot. Couldn't say a word back there. See your ex and go soft, huh? If I hadn't shown up, would you have helped her?" I was wronged. I looked up, her cheeks were flushed. She really looked angry, but why did I see jealousy in her eyes? "What are you staring at? Speak." "Okay, you asked for it." I rubbed my sore thigh. "First of all, I'm not useless. I'm a grown man. Don't argue with women. You can yell and slap her. I was silently cheering for you in my heart. Second, and this is important, you can kick me if you want, but please aim carefully. If you damage something important, you'll be the one losing out later." She paused for a few seconds, then blushed and gave me another kick, this time on the shin. I exaggerated an ow, but inside my heart was glowing, although no one said it out loud. Haley and I naturally ended up together. Every night I waited for her at the convenience store downstairs after work, then walked her home. No one at the office knew. Of course, her family didn't either. I never asked her about it, nor did I know if she'd be willing to meet my parents if I brought it up. I didn't dare ask. It wasn't the same feeling I had when I was with Serena. Back then I felt a strong sense of responsibility. Like Serena was a good girl, and I had to treat her right. But with Haley, what I felt most was fear. How should I put it? Even though she was the one always taking the initiative, I constantly felt uneasy, like I was holding a ticking time bomb. One labeled loss. that could explode at any moment. Soon enough, the first wave hit. Just before clocking out that day, she sent me a message. Only one line, "Come home with me after work." I jumped out of my chair. So sudden. When I get nervous, my stomach hurts. So I ran to the bathroom and scrolled my phone. The top trending topic with a hot tag read, "Heir of H group arrested for gambling. His younger sister lost in puppy love indifferent to her brother's fate." The second trending topic was in the finance section. H group stock dropped 10 by close. Two photos were attached, one of Tony in handcuffs, the other me and Haley smiling brightly together, placed side by side. The media knew exactly how to stir the pot. I had a pretty good idea why she wanted to bring me home. A trap disguised as a dinner. The thought made my stomach hurt even more. After who knows how long, Haley's voice rang from outside the men's restroom. "Rocky, need me to fish you out with a poop stick." I forced myself out. She pinched her nose and kicked me. "You still say you're not a coward? Scared just from going to my house once? If you don't want to go, fine. I'll go alone. It's just a public shaming anyway. Who says I'm scared? So what if they're rich? Are rich people going to eat me alive?" Her words fired me up. Standing in front of her house, I realized even in the middle of the city, you could have such a quiet private mansion. She grabbed my hand, fingers tightly interlocked, and led me to her grandfather's bedside. Her grandfather had just returned from the hospital, resting with his eyes closed. Her aunt attacked first, throwing a newspaper with a smack. "Look what mess you've caused. Not only did you fail to help your brother, now you've made headlines with some pretty boy." She probably wanted to say something nastier, but held back since her father was present. "Makes sense. You're the daughter of a second wife with no proper upbringing. I could take the insults aimed at me, but not those aimed at Haley." Just as I was about to speak, Haley stepped forward. "Andy, my brother broke the law. Would you mind teaching me how I'm supposed to help him? And by the way, Rocky is my boyfriend. I brought him here today so you could meet him. Whoever dares call him a pretty boy again, don't blame me for being rude. You." Her aunt trembled, pointing at Haley. "What? I know you and Tony's mom were close. She asked you to look after him before she died, and this is the best you could do. If you care that much, why not adopt him as your son?" Her aunt straightened up, glaring at Haley. "Your father's health is poor, and I never had kids. I've always treated Tony like my own. Maybe he's being framed. Some people would betray family just to get ahead. Oh, in that case, please help your son pay his debts." I pulled out a stack of IOUs with Tony's fingerprints. "If you say he didn't break the law, then these are just normal loans. It's all in black and white. Debt must be repaid. Not much, just around $5 million. Haley gave me a surprised look. She hadn't expected I'd collect all that. Her aunt's face turned green, and she snapped, "Who do you think you are? Do you think you have the right to speak here?" Just then, Haley's grandfather finally spoke. "I called you all here today to discuss something important. Who should take over the H group?" He coughed, glanced at one of the IOUs. "Seems like the decision is easier now. Brother, Tony is the only son of the H family. You can't make a mistake here, or the company will fall into an outsider's hands." This time her uncle jumped in too. Everyone stared at me with suspicion. Haley pulled me to leave. "Take your time discussing. I have my own business. Rocky is very capable. We won't starve without H group." "Well then, so be it. Let Tony take over H group." Her grandfather's voice came from behind. "I'm old. Can't manage much longer. Tomorrow I'll make the announcement publicly." Haley paused for a second. "Everyone here owns company shares. You might want to consider what kind of impact this news will have." As soon as he finished, the family's expressions changed. Of course, if a known troublemaker inherits the company, the brand's reputation will sink, and so will the stock price. Haley had her own business. She had nothing to fear, but her relatives, not so much. Soon someone changed their tune. "It's a new era. Boys and girls are equal. All are blood of the H family." Right. Even in ancient times, people chose the most capable. Haley is outstanding. The company should be in her hands, for shareholders' peace of mind. Hearing that, Haley laughed out loud. Her steps light as she pulled me out the door. I thought today was a trap, that they'd surround me for a public trial. So I came prepared with evidence of Tony's gambling. My dad was never one to care about status. Back then, he divorced his first wife despite heavy pressure, though the reason was emotional. Soon after, her family fell into scandal and decline. So the H family knew the power of scandal all too well. Now Tony was a scandal bomb waiting to explode. By the way, where'd you get those IOUs? Did you meet with Serena again? Nothing gets past her eyes. But Serena offered them willingly. She said if I helped, the debt could be wiped clean. Oh, so you agreed to help her? She squinted mischievously, eyes gleaming with danger. Of course, I put on my professional smile. We're in business. Of course we provide legal help to the parties involved. Our fees are high, but with our family's wealth, it shouldn't be a problem. As for how Serena interpreted help, that wasn't my concern. And those debts, please, they were gambling losses. Never needed to be paid back anyway. You're such a bad guy. Haley giggled and punched me. I caught her hand and pulled her into my arms. She was carrying a sky blue lambskin purse. It looked very familiar. Nice bag. Is it real? Duh. My heart warmed. You sure? Lots of scams on second-hand sites. If you don't like this one, I'll buy you a new one. She flopped into my arms. looking up with sparkling eyes. Has no one taught you basic manners? I frowned at her. What manners? She blinked those big eyes again. When you kiss, you're supposed to close your eyes. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.